first thought that there might be something wrong with me about a year before I actually went to the doctors. She says, "You should have seen me a long time ago, really." I went to see a consultant within a week or so. He told me that I'd got cancer. It had already spread into my lymph nodes. You just don't expect it to happen to somebody that's, 30 years old and everything was fine, and it just kind of comes in like a sledgehammer, doesn't it, and ruins everything. I met Vicky when I was diagnosed, and she was really great. She explained that she was a Macmillan nurse, and I was reassured that there was somebody there. I think I could have easily just spiralled into despair, and they kind of catch you before you get there. One of the first times I met her, that consultation will stay with me forever.
I'll often say wherever my patient goes, I'll walk at the side of them, and should she need me, should she stumble, should she fall, I'll be there with my hand to make sure that she doesn't.
It's really nice to feel that you kind of are remembered and that you are cared about. I couldn't have got through without her. I really couldn't. She was brilliant.
All of the flowers that you can see behind you have been paid through the National Garden Scheme, and it's to help the young autistic children to come out here and actually be alive. I'm autistic myself, my husband is autistic, and my son is autistic. So when I want to escape, I go into the garden. The people who are doing the gardening are the people who are autistic themselves.
A lot of autistic people really appreciate gardens for what gardens are.
It's just not a benefit to them, it's a benefit for their parents, it's a benefit for the community. Because of that tranquility, it actually calms them down. All their cares can just disappear, and they're just so at peace.
Mum's got bad hips, and I don't really want her walking too much because she might fall over, and that's why I do things. I do the hoovering, I make Mummy a drink, I do the washing separately with the white, the dark and the coloured washing.
Lily is my little helper. Upset.
Young carers can come to organisations like us where they can make friends and they can be children again.
It gives the kids a bit of hope that there's other things out there and they're not just stuck indoors caring for people. They've got to be kids at the end of the day, and I think it's great.
I was diagnosed on the Thursday afternoon, just before the August bank holiday in 2010. And I think I'll never forget that day. He actually just started talking, and just in the middle of the conversation just added I had Parkinson's. And my husband and I just looked at each other and started crying. My life with Parkinson's day to day is hard work. Getting them ready for school is the hardest thing for me every day. Doing buttons up, doing the blazer up, doing the shoes up.
I really didn't want hospice care. I felt you went to a hospice to die quietly. I'd had so many things I still wanted to do. When a hospice nurse came to see me at home, I was amazed by the choices I could make to help me live well for as long as possible.
I had a talk about my worries. For a few hours, I stopped being a carer and became a wife again.
Losing my partner Jane left a big hole in my life. She always loved the plants and nature, The hospice looked after her, and now I look after the hospice gardens. I'm happy to volunteer, and it helps me through difficult times.
My name is Rachel Flynn. I'm a physiotherapist. Regular exercise is very beneficial to people with MS. A lot of people aren't into going to the gym, so this was trying to bring exercise to people's homes.
I have been doing simple exercises and they seem to have improved my balance.
Because I've got tips and exercises means that I can fight this beast and means that on good days I win.
It's a very important part of managing MS and coping with it, really.
The work that people do opening their gardens is directly going to help their neighbours, their friends, the older people at home who rely on community nursing.
So I'd like to thank you all and NGS as a whole for what you do for the QNI.
When unexpected illness strikes, the effects on a family can be devastating. Perennial's continued help really does turn around the lives of many people working in horticulture.
The first time I realised something was wrong was when I dropped a teacup on a building site and I didn't have any realisation that I'd had a teacup in my hand. My symptoms very quickly become quite serious to the point that when I went for my doctor's appointment, I pretty much had to be carried in. Before my illness, I was working with a family landscaping company. My mother wasn't physically able to take over, so I was basically pretty essential to the business.
So the caseworker from Perennial came in and she was absolutely fantastic.
I struggled to see how we could have managed without Perennial in those first 6 weeks, really.
These days Matt and I both work in horticulture. We both teach part-time at Argyle College. Also we have a landscaping company, so we're working together a lot, which is fantastic.
We wouldn't be where we are right now without Perennial. They only really supported us for a period of maybe a year, but that was the worst year our family had ever had.
My name's Elizabeth and I've been a Marie Curie nurse for 7 years. All our patients are terminally ill at the end of their life, and part of the essence of being at home is that they've got a little bit of control, but at least they're in their own surroundings on their own terms. They'll tell us all sorts of stories about their life, their good times and their bad times, and sometimes they'll talk about their fears, and so if they're worried about dying, you can ask them what it is that they're worried about and try and reassure them. It has the greatest privilege to be able to help someone at their last moments and to help the family get through the most difficult time that they may ever encounter in their lives.
The 380 odd county team volunteers and the 3,500 garden owners who open you, that's the real engine room of the scheme. That's where this performance is produced.